I'm Devin Banerjee, and I'm joined now by John Shrewsberry. John is the CFO of Wells Fargo. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Devin. Nice to be here.
So John, a year ago, I spoke with your now former colleague, Tim Sloan, the former CEO of Wells Fargo, talking about the digital transformation of your company and of the financial services sector at large. Talk about now, today in 2019, where we are in that transformation and what steps you see being taken to transform digitally in financial services.
Sure, it's still relatively early, and most of it's being driven by what customers want, how they want to interact with their banks. It can be mobility through the phone in terms of how they check their balances. It can be the process of becoming a customer or of originating a new product and doing it digitally. That drives great data. It drives great engagement with the customers. It's also happening on the team member side. There's more tools that we can use to make the team members' life richer in banking. And it really all, we're trying to make it convenient, we're trying to make it intuitive, we're trying to make it personalized, contextual, and learn from the other experiences that our customers are having outside of financial services to make it better.
Wells Fargo, like its peers, has been reducing its footprint of branches, physical locations. Is that because customers can now connect with you more digitally? Somewhat.
I wouldn't say that the branches that we've closed because those customers were transacting more digitally, but all customers are. The foot traffic at branches and ATMs each year is down about 5%, and the digital engagement is up double-digit percents at the same time.
John, you're the Chief Financial Officer. I've noticed a trend over the past few years that CFOs at large companies are becoming more strategic in the C-suite with the direction of the company. You don't just close the books every 90 days anymore. Talk about the evolution of the role of the CFO in large companies.
Yeah, well, I think in these last several years, as more businesses, more legacy large businesses face different forms of possible disruption or different avenues for growth, for capturing new customers, for serving new customers, the business models are changing. And so whether it's allocating capital or thinking about how expenses are divvied up to support the historical way of doing business or the more customer-friendly, innovative way of doing business, there's a really different discussion around the leadership table about where resources are applied. I think that's a big piece of it.
Yeah. So John, a year ago I spoke with Tim Sloan about Wells Fargo's campaign to restore trust among customers and clients following the fraudulent accounts scandal your company faced. Where are you now in that process? What steps have been taken to date? And what steps remain to regain trust among your customers and clients of Wells Fargo?
I think among customers, we're very far along. We spent the last couple of years reaching out in a variety of different ways to understand how people were impacted and to make it better. And then looking internally and changing products, changing incentives, changing business process in order to be more customer friendly, more transparent, et cetera. So among customers, our customer service scores are as high as they've been in years, and among team members, our attrition is as low as it's been in years. So with people who we're interacting with every day, I'd say we're very far along. It's harder with prospects because they don't have a personal experience. They know what they know from something that they might have heard at the worst possible moment. And so we have to work slowly over time to continue to engage with people who aren't already customers to make them customers. And we've been growing our customer counts steadily.
And how much longer do you see this process taking to regain trust among your existing customers?
Among existing customers, I would say we're substantially there, or we're in the later stages of it. It's really more about the broader audience of people who don't already know us.
So John, I referred to the exit of Tim Sloan as CEO of Wells Fargo. As the board searches for a new CEO, you're in the C-suite. What kind of qualities would you like to see in the next CEO of Wells Fargo?
Sure, well, their process is their process and they'll run it. I'd like to see somebody who's comfortable leading a large organization of 250, 260,000 people, 70 million customers. We have a global franchise in many of our businesses. It's a very innovative industry at a time with big secular change in the business, so somebody has to be forward-leaning. And we operate in a highly regulated environment, so we have to be somebody who's comfortable with that as well.
Right.
But that's the board's responsibility.
That's John Shrewsberry, the CFO of Wells Fargo. John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.